This is Jared from Strong Roots Farm. Today we're talking about Strong Kids Part 2. That's No Mas Pantalones Numero Dos for my Spanish speaking friends. So if you haven't watched Part 1, you need to skip back, subscribe, go back to my video. That's where we lay out the basis of what we do on the farm for strong, disciplined kids. And we charge our kids rent. We've established that. So you need to go back and see that video. Today we're going to say exactly how we do it and what we do and how it works. So stick around.
I'm Jared McGinnis. Live in Southern Ohio with my awesome wife Jenny. We have 4 sons, Colt, Gideon, Ruger, and Gatlin. This is a story of how we sold our new home in the suburbs, purchased an old unserviceable farm, and began to transform it into a local food source for us and our local community. We're on a mission of faith, family, and healthy food. Please subscribe and come with us on this journey. We are Strong Roots Farm.
Okay, we charge our kids rent. It's $1 a week per age. So my son, who's 5, he pays $5 a week. We start this when they're 5. So until they're 5, they don't pay anything and they can do chores and earn some money, but they start becoming responsible to the family when they're 5. So how it works, a job comes available that our son, we've deemed that he can do. We offer it to him. Sometimes he does it, sometimes he doesn't. At the end of the week, come Friday, rent's due. He pays his $5. If he doesn't have his $5, that's when discipline comes in. This allows him to choose when he wants to do chores and what chores he wants to do. And it also, as he's 5, we remind him of his bank account sometime throughout the week, kind of help him with that a little bit. But other than that, it's totally up to him. It's his responsibility. He follows it. He keeps track of it. And he knows if discipline's coming or it's not. Okay, before you judge, this may sound weird. It may sound mean. I've had some comments about that. But let's think about this. When I was 10 years old, my chores for my mother were mowing the yard and taking out the trash. When I was 10, I got $2 a week allowance. And let's think about that. That didn't seem bad back then. That was kind of the standard thing. But with our system, this is how it would work. So my mom has a big yard. It took me about an hour and a half to mow when I was 10. Today, in our system, that would pay $15. I took out the trash, so I'd collect it around the house and take it out to the can. I wouldn't take it to the end of the road. That was a different chore, but I would take it out to the can. In our house, that pays $2. So as a 10-year-old, I would have made $17. Come Friday, I would have owed my mom $10 because I'm 10 years old, and I would have made $7 profit. That doesn't sound too bad to me. That doesn't sound mean or unreasonable. That sounds like as a 10-year-old, I made $7 this week extra. And the only difference is with our system, I would have chose to do those chores when they were available. And my mom wouldn't have had to nag me or be on me or any of those things. And if I wouldn't have done it, I know that discipline was coming. Now, I could have chose to do more chores. I could have chose to earn more money. So those basketball shoes that I wanted that were expensive or whatever I was saving for back then, G.I. Joes or whatever I liked, I could have worked harder and made money and saved those things, all just by a simple list of chores. I didn't have to be nagged. I didn't have to be even asked. I could have done them. She could have said, hey, the trash needs taken out, or hey, the yard needs mowed, or hey, that flower bed needs weeded, whatever I had. And I said, okay, yeah, I want to do that now. And I could have worked for that. That's the difference. It's not mean. It's not unreasonable. Okay, so here's what we do. Here's how it actually works. Okay, so first off, we're going to go through the steps of what you can do, how you can do it, and what we did. So we started with the chore list. So when Colt was just about 5, we knew we were going to do this. We put together a list of chores that we thought he could do. So I'll tell you right now at 5, he can gather up the trash and take it to the can. He can unload the dishwasher. And for the things that are on the top shelf, we kind of modified that job. So those things he sets on the counter, my wife sets in, but there's very few things up there. So he can unload the dishwasher. He can gather all the laundry throughout the house. We have laundry bins in every room. He can gather those and take them downstairs to the basement to our laundry room. That's a chore he can do. He can pick up all the toys. My wife has a daycare, so it's not all his toys. He can pick up all the toys in the yard or all the toys in this toy room, education room that she has. That's another chore he can do. And then from time to time, there's specific things that she needs done. Colt, I need you to go do this or take this out or go feed the chickens or go let the chickens out or do some errands like that. And she'll offer a special job to him, something that doesn't come up all the time. So we made this chore list. And she likes a spreadsheet. She's a spreadsheet girl. So she's got all these things Monday through Friday, you know. and every time he does that chore, she marks it off. We started this, we were paying him on Friday, kind of like a wage, but we learned as a 5-year-old, we think it's kind of important that you pay him at the time of the job. So I recommend that to you. It just helps them to understand, hey, I did the job, I immediately got paid for it. It's not so long to them. A week to them is like a month to us. So we pay them as they do the chore. So the main lesson with the chore list is that we teach Colt that everyone matters in our household. This was way before the Black Lives Matter or White Lives Matter or whatever all these matter groups are, but he matters. He matters to the family. He's important to the family. Everyone can provide, everybody can chip in, everyone can do something. And that lesson should grow. Everyone can do something. Okay, so there's lesson number 1 with the chore list. Now next, with each chore we had, we decided a wage. So we wanted to pay a fair wage, so we paid $10 an hour. But this isn't $10 an hour of Colt's time, of him dilly-dallying. This is $10 an hour of how long it would take my wife to do the job. So if it takes her 15 minutes to gather the trash up everywhere and take it out, then that pays $2.50 at $10 an hour wage. So that's how we determine this wage, and we kind of round up. We want even dollars or maybe 50-cent increments, but that's how we determine. So we got our list now, and now we got a wage for each thing. So now Colt's got his list, he's got his money, so now he starts doing chores. We offer him the chores. Like I said, he makes the choice. He works until the job is done correctly. We do not pay for half-done jobs. So if you do it halfway, you're not getting paid in this family. That can be your choice, change it up if you want, but we don't pay for half-done jobs. When it comes time later for mowing and he can mow half the yard and has to go to a ball game or something, that might change, but for now, we don't pay for half-done jobs. So lessons learned with this. He has accountability. He has a standard of quality. He understands this is what we expect. If we're paying you to do this, it needs to be done to this standard of quality. There's also some other lessons like coachability. He understands how to be taught to do something a certain way, and he follows those things. And then everything worth doing is worth doing well. That's a good lesson in all these things that we do. So we have that. So he earns throughout the week. Payday comes, right? Or the rent day comes. He's been paid throughout the week. He counts out his money. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lessons. He's learned to count. He's learned to tell his dollars and cents. He's learned to save money. All these things. And then he has extra money, and he learns to do things with it. So saving, tithing, saving for a specific event, putting it back for college or whatever he wants to do. I'll tell you some examples. He saved for his cousin's birthday party. He saved $10 over about a month, and he went down and bought him a big can of these Army Men for $10 at one of these toy stores, right? So he saved for that. We're going to the beach on a vacation. He's saving to go and buy a squirt gun at the water surf store. We went last year and he bought this cool squirt gun. He's saving for that. He's saving for himself. He saves to give money to church. So he does things like that. So we're teaching him these things. All these things are built into this lesson. Unless he doesn't make it, then there's discipline. So how does that work? So Friday's here. Son's short on rent, right? He hasn't made his bills. Can't pay his bills. He's grounded. We don't typically ground as a discipline. We're not a grounding or timeout family. We're a pretty strict military style family as far as our discipline goes. But for this, we ground. So what does this mean? We give no TV, no games, no friends, no playing, no toys, none of that kind of stuff. The only thing he's allowed to do is read, schoolwork, or physical work. How long? This is the beauty of what I think is the beauty of the system. I really like this part of it. Specifically, Colt is grounded. My oldest son Colt, who's 5, he's grounded until he pays back what he missed plus a fee. So if you're late on rent or you're late on a bill and you get a late fee, that's the same thing we're doing here. So it's we're doing 15 to 20%, but we're making it an even dollar. So at 5, he pays $1 late fee. So let's say Colt made $4 this week, doesn't have his rent on Friday. $5, he owes $5, so now he owes the $1 of back rent that he didn't pay us, plus a $1 fee. So he has to do $2 worth of chores. Once he's done with that and he's paid up, he's ungrounded. He's done. He's back in the good. He can start working towards next week. I like this because I don't have to argue with him. it's not me being mean to him. He knows when he's ungrounded. It's not me just being mean, saying when I feel like you're ungrounded, that's when I think you've got it. When I think you've learned your lesson. I don't like that. So he knows the expectations, he knows the limitations, and he's got to follow that. So he takes it upon himself. He does his chores when we offer them. If there's no chores to do at that point that he hasn't paid rent, we don't make up chores for him. So know this, we're disciplined with this. But usually there are some things he can do around the house. This has only happened twice in a year. The first time it happened, he was only grounded for half an hour because the laundry needed collected, and that paid $2, and he did it, and it was good. The next time it lasted into the Saturday, and within that day he was ungrounded. It was fine, and he didn't have any problem with it. So that's how it works. We really like it. It works well for us. Okay, so if you're interested, here's what you need to do. First, you need to watch the third video. The third video, we're going to talk about problems we've had, and that's really kind of key for you. Once you've done that, you need to make a chore list, get your decide what chores they can do, decide what they're going to be paid, all those kind of things. Get everything wrote down, and then be accountable yourself. You have to say, I'm going to be accountable to this. I'm going to be stricter than the kids. I'm going to be more disciplined than the kids. It has to be you. You really have to be disciplined with this, because there's so many chances you're like, well, you don't owe rent this week because we were really busy. You got to really be disciplined with it. You still had to go to work, and you were really busy. So that's one thing, is prepare yourself for that mentally. Next thing is understand your standards. So what is your high quality of standards for each job? Set those up. If this is your standard, that's typical. You need to set that standard and be ready to deal with that. The next thing is sit down and explain it to the family and go on with it. If you have kids that are older than 5, so let's say you have an 8 and a 10-year-old and you're thinking about starting this, I recommend the first week you do not charge rent. So you explain what's going to happen. You tell them the first week is free, it's on me, and you let them experience the chores, and let them experience how it goes, and let them experience the joy of earning the money and being able to save and do those kind of things. That's what I recommend you do. It's up to you though. Do what you want to do. It's your thing. So in the next video, we're going to talk about issues. We're going to talk about some problems that Colt had. He damaged something, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some other problems that we've had along the way with the situations and things that we adapted and changed. I already mentioned one change that we changed from paying at the end of the week to right after the job. But we're going to go through all those kind of things. Hope that'll be interesting for you. Thanks for watching, and keep watching us here. Subscribe to us, share us with your friends. Tell your mama and Nana. All right, thanks.